Well, in the occupied West Bank, Israeli settlers have shot dead one Palestinian and wounded 6 others. That's according to the Palestinian Authority. Settlers attacked Palestinian homes in the village of Wadi Rahal near Bethlehem. The injured were rushed to hospital. There have been increased attacks on or by Israelis living in illegal settlements in the occupied West Bank since the war in Gaza began. Now, the Israeli army has conducted an airstrike in Tulkarem, killing at least 5 Palestinians, 3 of them teenagers. Israel says it was targeting what it called an operations room in the Nur Shams refugee camp. An Israeli strike in the same area last week killed 3 Palestinians, and there have been around 50 Israeli airstrikes in the West Bank since the start of the war. Let's join Nida Ibrahim, who is now in Al-Ubaidiya, if I pronounced that correctly. Nida, hopefully I have, south of Bethlehem. Let's just talk about these settler attacks. Not only are they increasing and getting more violent, but it continues to destabilise the area as well.
Indeed, and we've seen the video of the settlers attacking Palestinians. Actually, it's one of many videos we've been seeing since the start of the war. Already, they've been targeting Palestinians in different areas. This time in Wadi Rahal, what happened is that dozens and dozens of settlers have attacked the village, killing a 40-year-old Palestinian. Usually what happens, Sohail, in these circumstances, Palestinians rush to protect their lands, to protect their loved ones, but ultimately they are overpowered not only by the numbers of these settlers, but the fact that they're often accompanied by the Israeli soldiers and the Israeli army that often give protection to the Israeli settlers. But also, let's not forget an important element. The Israeli settlers are often armed. They've been getting more access to arms since the war started, and we've been seeing how the National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has been lifting restrictions and allowing Israelis to get access to arms easily. That's why we've been seeing the number of Palestinians being killed by Israeli settlers increase. The UN figures talk about 19 Palestinians killed by Israeli fire directly. There are others who have been killed after confrontations erupt and after the Israeli army arrives there, which often the goal of that arrival is to protect settlers at the expense of Palestinians.
And of course, there was also an airstrike earlier that killed more in Tulkarem. What more do we know about that incident?
Well, we know that Israeli forces have been intensifying their use of aerial strikes against Palestinians in the occupied West Bank, driven by the Israeli military officials saying that they will be green-lighting more and more strikes to combat the Palestinian fighters who have been operating in certain areas in the occupied West Bank. This time, 5 Palestinians have been killed. According to people in Tulkarem and in the Nur Shams refugee camp, they say that the target was Abu Shuja'. He is a Palestinian fighter whom Israel deems wanted and has survived several assassination attempts. This time, it's not clear whether he has been hit or injured. We don't know, but according to medical sources, 5 Palestinians have been killed, including one who has been released as part of the captives exchange deal that took place between Hamas and Israel in November. We are talking about a high number of casualties when these aerial strikes take place. And indeed, we've been seeing them intensify specifically in the past few weeks.
Nida Ibrahim for us there in the occupied West Bank. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.